This one aiming tip will change the way you play Warzone forever. Have you ever wondered why your enemies are getting first shot on you or just reading you so well? Well, today you're going to learn how to do exactly that and be an absolute headache for your opponents on the map. Most of you guys have heard of the term centering, but there's one thing that you guys have probably never considered before. And if there's anything I can promise, it's that by the end of this video, you will never play Warzone the same again. All right, let's get into it. Before we dive into the main pro tip of the video, let's first talk about centering as maybe a refresher for some of you guys, or maybe someone who just hasn't heard it before. All right, let's talk centering. I have my center dot, this bright green color, so you guys don't miss it for demonstrational purposes. You can change down the interface settings. I normally just run the static and the white, but for demonstrational purposes, we're running this bright green. So what is centering? It is simply putting this center dot where your enemy is most likely to be as you move throughout the map, okay? And you're gonna wanna keep that chest level, but let's say I'm running up these stairs right here, and I think an enemy could be at the top of the stairs. I'm simply putting that center dot at the top of the stairs. And then maybe I think somebody's by this window over here. I'm putting this center dot by the window. So simply putting your center dot where your enemy is most likely to be and keeping that around chest level. All right, last thing to go over the basics of centering so we can actually get into the fun stuff and the reason why you guys are here for this video. But this is extremely important, okay? If I have good centering on this opponent right here, I have to make minor adjustments to my aim, okay? If I am staring at the ground, which a lot of beginner players do, might be you that I'm looking through the screen right now, stop looking at the ground, look chest level. But if I'm looking at the ground and pick up this enemy, it's going to take me a long time to aim and actually start getting shots on my enemy. And that is wasting you time to kill, or TTK. We worry about it with our guns TTK, but why shouldn't we worry about it with our centering? The better your centering is, the shorter your time to kill is. And that is a main focus that we need to think about when we're centering our targets. All right, now that the basics of centering are out of the way, let's talk about what you guys actually came here for. And that is a term I like to call predictive centering. Now, if you can master this skill right here, it is going to change the way you play Warzone forever, and I guarantee it. Now, the term itself is pretty self-explanatory. Predictive centering, you are doing exactly that. You are predicting where your enemy is going to be and putting your center dot at that location. Now, let me explain a little bit better. All right, so to explain this, let's say we know this enemy is around the corner. We have audio cues, UAV, mini-map ping. We know they're right around here on our mini-map or just based on the audio in game. We know the audio isn't great, but let's say you heard the footsteps, right? What actual good centering and what normal centering and what most of you guys are doing is running around like this, sliding out, and you're having pretty good centering because you know they're over in this location. That's fine. You're centering around this corner and you're centering to the target. That's fine. What predictive centering is if you know the general location, we all know we don't know exactly where they're at, but if you know the general location of where your enemy is based on the audio cues, the mini map, whatever it may be, we are predictively centering. So like putting this center dot where I think the actual enemy is on the other side of this bus, like right now. Not waiting, not centering this corner and then turning. I am putting this center dot where I think they are right now, like through the bus, as if I have walls. And I am flying around this corner and putting shots down. Now, why does this matter? Okay, I'm going to explain this because it really makes such a big difference. And I know not a lot of you guys are doing it, but turning this corner is basically another way of doing, you know, essentially two moves with your aim. You are centering this corner and then you are using your right stick to turn and locate the enemy. That's a big move right there, right? What we're trying to do is keep things smooth, keep things fast, and predict where our enemy is around the corner and barely move our right stick as we move around this corner, where I barely move my right stick at all. Like if at all. If I have a general idea of where this enemy is, I'm sliding around this corner with my centering already there. This is exactly what predictive centering is. Let's talk more about it, but I promise you, if you guys get this tip down, the reason why I'm so excited about it is because it makes such a big difference in your gameplay. Let's keep talking about it. All right, the verbal cue that I want you guys to think about, and the one that works best for me that I just think of in my head when thinking about predictive centering, you really want to act like you are a hacker with walls or wall hacks, okay? If you guys didn't know, hackers on PC can literally see you through objects. I want you guys to act like, obviously don't hack, I'm not condoning hacking, but based on your audio cues and your knowledge of the mini map or where you think the enemy is, where they're shooting or whatever it may be, I want you to act like you are a hacker with walls, okay? Because who has the best predictive centering at all other than hackers? That's why they're able to kill us all the time, other than aimbot and different things. But truthfully, I want you to act like a hacker with walls as you move throughout the map. That's the best verbal cue that's helped me understand predictive centering. I hope that helps you guys. But like I said, obviously we don't know exactly where our opponent is around this bus, but we are going to do the best possible job by predicting our centering and predicting where they are so that we can slide and move our crosshair the smallest amount as possible when challenging enemies. All right, so let's take a look at predictive centering in a real game scenario. I'm here in the gulag. We're playing ranked play. If you guys want to check us out, we're probably streaming it right now. Kick.com/MarkClarkk. Would love to have you in the kick chat. But let's get back into the tips here. Predictive centering. I'm going to let this play first in full speed. You guys can watch the gulag in regular speed here. Okay. Have no info. I think I hear him sliding on this left side. I'm just predictive centering a little bit. Get some good shots. Break my opponent. I know I got the advantage on him. Slide to this head glitch. And throw a little shock charge. Easy kill for the gulag. But let's back it up a little bit and actually break this down and show you guys exactly what's going on here. I'm going to slow this down really quick. 0.25 speed so you guys can see just what's happening. All right, so first thing in the gulag, I know for a fact there's a head glitch on this right side. As you can see, my center dot, it's a little bit blurry here. I'm on the PS5 and this is restreamed just on the kick VOD, so bear with me. The quality is a little bit bad, but you can see my center dot right there. I am predictively centering this head glitch right here. So if he was there, which he is not there, if he was there, my centering is perfect over that head glitch. Okay, I'm predicting him to be over here. I don't see him on this right side, so I get an audio cue. I think I hear him slide or something on the left side. So this is when my predictive centering starts. Look at this right here. I'm predicting where I think he is. I think he's over here. I don't see him. I throw a little shoulder. No info yet, but I can hear him, or at least knew he slid on that left side. Boom. This is the first bit of info I have. Not very good centering, to be honest. Not very good predictive centering. I thought he was further back, but I see him slide. So I throw a shoulder. I pick up info on where he is, and now I'm predictive centering. Okay. I know he's not on that right side, so I predictive center this left side. And as you can see, I'm not that far off. Okay. Not the best predictive centering. If it was perfect, obviously I'd be right on him, but I'm really not that far off. And the point being here is watch when I aim in. Look how small I have to adjust my aim here. Like barely at all. Get some good breaks on him. Okay, so I know I have the advantage in the fight. Once again, predictive centering. I'm just holding a pre-aim because I know I have this, 100-point advantage in this fight. I see him right there. I know he's behind these boxes. So what I'm going to do is, instead of just pre-aiming him the whole time or predictive centering him the whole time, I decide to use my movement to full sprint behind this head glitch, slide out, and while I'm sliding out, I am centering around this corner. Okay, and I'm predictive centering. He's not in that center spot. I know that for a fact because I end up throwing a shock charge. I see shots on the right there. Actually, I throw a shock charge on the left side to cut that angle off. No, he has to come back right, and look at my predictive centering working here. Boom. I know he has to come back to the right. We kind of just follow him back that way based on his slide, audio cues, whatever it may be, and pick up the easy win in the gulag. All right, so by now, most of you guys understand what predictive centering is. And the good news is if you implement this in your gameplay today, it's already gonna make you a better player. You're going to win more gunfights than you wouldn't have already, but it's not gonna be as effective as a tip unless you guys understand your enemy tendencies and stop playing so scared, okay? That's what I wanna talk about next, is a lot of you guys play so scared and so timid that you're not getting in enough engagements and enough gunfights to understand player movement and understand how enemies move throughout the map to be able to predict them the best possible. And what I mean by that is your enemy's tendencies, right? Like I used to play baseball and we used to get scouting reports from the opponent pitcher and we would understand their tendencies, right? The type of pitches they threw and what counts and what locations. And we would understand our opponent so well that by the time the game came around, we would understand their tendencies and be able to capitalize on that. You guys need to do the same in game. A lot of you guys simply aren't dying enough, running out there and just dying enough to understand how players move throughout the map and tendencies that players use, okay? But once you understand that, okay, once you understand that, your predictive centering is going to be so much better than it would be. Whereas if you were just a beginner player, you're always like crouch walking or just slowly moving throughout the map, understand your player's tendencies, be more aggressive. And I really want you to get out there and start practicing predictive centering today and mess up a million times. It's okay. Your predictive centering is not going to be very good. Like my predictive centering wasn't great in that gulag, but it still won me a gulag in ranked play. Like I'm practicing this just as much as you guys are. I want you guys to implement this into your gameplay. Try it out, make mistakes, it's okay, but I promise you it's gonna benefit your gameplay. All right, 2 quick things to wrap this video up. The first thing is keeping things smooth with your centering, okay? This is so important. We all know that YY TikToker that's flying around the screen, super jarring, doing the YYs and the slide cancels. and it's just so not effective. Okay, let me tell you, the best players in the world, the pro players, have the smoothest and best centering and predictive centering. Okay, so I want you to focus on being smooth. And a main point being is like, there's already a lot of info coming into our brain at once. Let's say we're playing ranked play or rebirth. We're trying to keep track of where's the enemy at, how many enemies, where are our teammates at, who's on the mini map, how much ammo do we have, maybe lethals or tactical, right? It's a lot of info coming at once. The goal with being smooth is to keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate it, okay? I'm putting this center dot where I think the enemy is. That's it, okay? Don't overcomplicate it. Keep this simple, keep this smooth. If I have 2 minutes to warm up throughout the day, this is always the first thing that I warm up is my centering. And I'm thinking about keeping it smooth. Let's say I'm in the firing range, right? I'm picking up the enemy in the firing range. I'm literally sliding and trying to keep my center dot smooth. Like sliding out to the right, sliding out to the left, and just trying to keep my center dot smooth. Okay, I'm tracking him left and right and just trying to keep this center dot smooth. That's all I'm doing. So I want you guys to put a strong emphasis on keeping your centering smooth as you move throughout locations. Let's say I'm running up this staircase right here, nice and easy. And I'm tracking to the door, nice and simple. I'm looking down here, coming across here, looking at this doorway, like everything's super smooth, not really jarring. So your brain doesn't have to take in a bunch of info at once, okay? Keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate it. As you can see, the more I move throughout the screen, the harder these targets become to look at. So like, look at this target right here. Very easy to see. But what happens when I jar this screen around? He almost becomes like unnoticeable. Obviously you can see he's there, but like it's very hard to see, right? But when I slow things down, you can't miss him. So keep things simple, keep things smooth with your centering. All right, last and final point to really hammer home predictive centering is I want you guys to implement shouldering. Okay, if you guys don't know what shouldering is, I will link our movement guide to this video. It should pop up somewhere on the screen up here. Watch the movement guide, understand shouldering, because this is so important with predictive centering, because all it's doing is if I shoulder this enemy, I get info on this enemy. That's all that shouldering is, just getting info on the enemy. Then I know where to predictive center him. Does that make sense? So we saw it in the gulag clip. I'm actually going to pull this up really quick. Here's the gulag clip and watch me center my opponent. Okay, I'm going to slow this down. I throw a shoulder, don't see anything. I throw another shoulder right here. I end up seeing him right here. Okay, and I'm not engaging off this because my centering is not good, right? But I'm throwing my shoulder, understanding where he is, and look, boom, I'm predicting where he's at now. Okay, so use shouldering to your advantage to help your predictive centering. And there you have it, the full guide on predictive centering. I hope you guys learned something new. If you did, make sure to let me know in the comments below. I love your guys' feedback. Also, we're almost to 100,000 subscribers, so make sure you're subbed if you aren't already and you're enjoying the content. Also, once again, we're live on Kick pretty much every single night, kick.com/MarkClarkk. We'd love to have you guys join us over there. Maybe ask me questions about this video or any questions you have, or maybe you just want to hang out and vibe with our awesome community. We'd love to have you guys over there. And until next time, have a good one.